Bonjour à tous! If you're a car enthusiast, and I'd honestly hope you are if you're watching this video, you probably enjoy the odd automotive popcorn flick from time to time. Everybody knows about the Fast saga, but if you've scoured the depths of worldwide automotive cinema, you've probably heard of a little French movie franchise called Taxi. I would like to say, by the way, that there will be a lot of me trying to pronounce things in French, because I did take French classes in high school, so if I sound cringe, I apologize. It stars Sami Nasseri as Daniel, a pizza delivery driver turned taxi driver who's behind the wheel of some type of large Peugeot sedan that hides a whole host of visual modifications that, at the push of a few buttons, come out of the bodywork indicating that he's ready to go fast, transporting fares to their destination at insane speeds, disturbing the peace, and making his customers soil their digestive system. The first 4 films in the franchise followed the antics of Daniel and his unlikely friendship with bumbling police officer Emilien Coutan-Kermadec on their various adventures to stop organized crime, as Daniel somehow possesses a whole host of skills that the Marseille PD lacks. As I said before, Daniel does all his taxi duties in a large Peugeot of some type in the first 4 films. A 406 in the first, second, and third movie, and a 407 in the fourth movie. If you're familiar with this franchise, you're probably wondering, these transformations that the cars undergo in the movies, did they actually happen? Was this all done by CG, or was there really a Peugeot 406 and 407 with hidden roof scoops, spoilers, and a completely different set of alloy wheels in front of the camera? Well, today I'm going to answer that question for y'all. Let's jump right in. To answer the question simply, yes, the cars did transform in real life. Sort of. Let's start by laying the groundwork and having a look at the cars we're working with here. The first 3 movies feature the Peugeot 406, the French automaker's family sedan that went on sale in Europe in 1995, although it remained in production until 2007, alongside the 407, in itself introduced in 2004. The car in the first movie, released in 1998, is an early pre-facelift 406, a 1996 model, according to the Internet Movie Cars database. The modifications include a front splitter, a new set of wheels, and a rear wing, all of the mods taking heavy inspiration from the 406 STW race car. The wheels on all the 406s in the first 3 movies are TSW Imolas, by the way. Another side note, the 406 in the first movie is the only one from any of the movies to not have roof scoops. The second and third movie cars are basically the same, with the only major difference being the use of a different font on the license plate, and the second movie adding the blue European Union stripe. The second movie was released in the year 2000, and as the facelifted 406 went on the market in February of 1999, the second and third movie both use a facelift 406, a 1999 model according to the Internet Movie Cars database. The facelift car in the second and third movies has an updated front splitter, a new rear wing, and it also added, completely non-functional, roof scoops. Both the second and third movie also introduced modifications that would only ever appear once. In Taxi 2, the car could sprout a set of wings and take flight, requiring the completion of a stunt that sadly took a cameraman's life during production. Rest in peace. While in the third movie, released in 2003, the wheels would be swapped out for tracks, perfect for traveling through snowy conditions, which they have to do in the movie. The 406 in Taxi 3 also has these ridiculous extra exhaust pipes that spit massive flames and increase speed. Presumably this is Luc Besson's rendition of nitrous. Not to mention the car in the third movie also received a James Bond-style rotating license plate setup. Finally, we have Taxi 4, released in 2007. The successor to the Peugeot 406, the 407, was already on sale for a few years by the time pre-production came around, so naturally it would make sense to upgrade Daniel to a 407. Painted in the same iconic white, the 407 brought along a fresh new take on the transformation, with a proper body kit, additional scoops along the C-pillars, and a giant one on the hood, as well as new wheels. The movie car also displayed some new special modifications, like the backwards opening trunk and the 4-wheel steering system. However, the transformed 407 gets maybe a total of 6 minutes of screen time and appears only twice in the whole movie. Great job on that, guys. Bravo. And now for some technical specs and talk of engine noises. The 406s in the first 3 movies have what I believe is the sound of the 406 STW race car dubbed over. For reference, this is what that sounds like. Despite them using the sound of a highly modified 4-cylinder engine, as this behind-the-scenes video and this one clip from Taxi 3 demonstrates if you listen carefully, All of the 406 stunt cars used throughout the production of the first 3 movies had V6 engines, specifically the 2.9-liter ES9 V6. Interestingly, in the 4th movie, this whole cylinder count debacle was reversed. I'm not exactly sure what car they used the sounds of in the 4th movie, but I remember seeing a comment somewhere that one of the cars they captured sound from was the B7 Audi RS4, and that does kind of make sense. Have a listen for yourself. And despite the B7 RS4 sound in the movie, as you can hear from this clip, which is odd because the 407 was also available with an upgraded version of the same V6, but I digress. One more thing before we continue. Earlier in this video I said the first 4 movies, because yes, there was a 5th movie in 2018, and it includes a few returning cast members like Alain and Gilbert. However, Daniel and Emilien are nowhere to be seen, instead replaced by these 2 dinguses, and, well, I don't want to count this movie into the main franchise. It is technically part of the franchise as it takes place in the same universe and features the same 407 from the 4th movie. But 15 minutes into the movie and 3 vomit jokes later, yes, 3... I gave up, so I'm not counting it in, and I think that you'll agree with me. It's a disgrace. Anyway, time for the main question. Did any of these cars actually transform, or was it all just extremely well done CGI for the time? The answer is yes, they really did transform, sort of. Let me explain what I mean. Stuff like the roof scoops and spoilers that you saw in the movies was all 100% real, and it was done in a very creative way. This is Christian Bonichon, and he was responsible for the cars in the Taxi franchise. As with any movie involving car chases and car stunts, there wasn't just one 406 or 407. There were multiple cars all assigned to do different things on camera. If you've seen Craig Lieberman's Fast and Furious stories, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, assuming that I was able to make sense out of the behind-the-scenes footage I've watched, with my severely limited understanding of the French language, there were stock 406s and 407s for on-camera duties, and fully transformed 406s and 407s. Then, this legend built additional prop cars. All of these looked fairly standard on the outside, but the interiors were completely... What the f*** did I just say? All of these looked fairly standard on the outside, but the interiors were pretty much completely stripped out. And that was done to make room for the hydraulics and lever systems that would make the modifications pop out of the bodywork. The roof scoops, the spoilers, the hood scoop in the case of the 407, it was all really there in front of the camera, and it was all remote controlled, and mounted on some really complex looking hydraulic lever systems, as I said. Interestingly, the necessity of building prop cars led to some interesting inconsistencies. As you can see from this clip, Christian pulls this wheel on this 406 prop car all the way out. And you can see this happen in the first movie, albeit gradually. However, in Taxi 1 and Taxi 2, the 406 has stock wheels for the longest time. Except when the transformation scenes happen. As you can see, as soon as Daniel starts preparing the modification switchgear, the car on the screen is on TSW Imolas. I'm assuming they did this because in the late 90s and the early 2000s, it was likely very difficult to convincingly computer animate the car swapping from stock wheels to the TSWs, so they just left them on the prop car to save themselves the trouble. This theory is most plausible especially in Taxi 3, where, as you can see, the car is on TSW Imolas for the entire runtime, transformed or not. This way, they could also ensure no one pointing out inconsistencies between the wheels. You hear that NFS movie Grasshopper scene? Side note, the car lifting on hydraulic jack stands in all 4 of the movies? Yep, the prop car could do that in real life too. As for the 407, again, same principle as before. The prop car had all the scoops and wings and stuff, and it all popped out of the bodywork in real life as well. However, the body kit was a little more complex. As a result, the prop car just had the body kit on the entire time, and from what I can see, the body kit deploying was all done by CG in the movie. Makes sense, CG was much better in 2007. However, the 407 also has the stock wheels inconsistency. Throughout most of the movie, it has stock wheels, but as soon as the prop car is on the screen, it switches to the aftermarket wheels. I don't know what they are, so if someone knows, please clue me in, because I love them. What's even funnier is during the 407's transformation sequence in the 4th movie, you can actually see the car going up on jack stands with the aftermarket wheels already on, and then the aftermarket wheels come out a second time. Speaking of wheels, I'm not sure if the stunt cars or prop cars could do the four-wheel steering thing, but I do know that one of the stunt cars did have the reverse opening trunk in real life, as seen here. There are a couple more things as well. As for the front splitters in the first 3 movies, I'm not entirely sure how they did it, but I have a feeling they did something very similar to how they went about the rotating license plate in the 3rd movie. As you can see here, the rotating license plate was simply attached to a 406 rear bumper. The camera was pointed up close to the bumper, so it looks like it's attached to the vehicle, but in fact it isn't. That means that in this scene in Taxi 3, there was actually no car behind the camera, just the bumper. Very creative. Also, another interesting fact, if you've seen the 3rd movie, you'll likely remember this scene where Daniel does this insane parallel parking doohickey in front of the pharmacy. Well, as it turns out, when the 406 stunt car finally appears to complete this stunt well enough for the take to be used in the final edit, the car sheared the 2 left tires and bent the wheels. I can only imagine how many sets of Imolas they had to go through until they finished the stunt. Still, great stuff. And that's going to be about it for this quite different video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, be sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you want more of these similar types of videos in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.